A couple of days back, your professor, Dr. Shukla, she called me and she said, we have a problem. We have a problem. I thought, how does she know? How did she know we have a problem? The problem was, thanks Dr. Kulkarni, very nice introduction. And I was checking with Jai sir whether you are a student or a professor. But thank you. So, you know what the problem was? The problem was, she says that you have, I gave her, after 2 weeks of research, I gave her a topic, a title. And a couple of days back, I think it was Friday, she says that there is a problem. What is the problem? That somebody else has taken that title. So I said that problem can be with somebody else. Why is it a problem with me? She says, no, that gentleman is coming before you. I said, that's a problem. So I was wondering, she says that you have to give another title to the topic. So that's why I was asking you, have you seen Apollo 13? Apollo 13, Jim Lovell was the astronaut. He was about 200,000 miles above Earth. You know Apollo 13, you know the story of Apollo 13. Some of you would know. I don't want to test you. I don't want to quiz you now. It was in 1970 when some of your parents were also not born. Okay, or they were kids. 1970, there was this Apollo 13 was to go and land on the moon. That was not the first. That was not the first time. That was, is it working? Can you all hear me at the back? Yes. Yeah. So that was not first. That was, I think, the third mission to moon. So Jim Lovell and two other colleagues, they were on that ship, and they were to go to the moon. About 200,000 miles above the Earth, there was a call back to the Space Center at Houston. Okay, the call was a frantic one. Houston, we have a problem. Some of you may watch this film, Apollo 13. Tom Hanks, if you know Tom Hanks played the role of Jim Lovell. Some of the professors may know Tom Hanks. I can see that from the way you are nodding. So watch that movie if you haven't. Apollo 13. He would have, Jai sir would have, because he's a movie buff, I know. So and this is something, it's a must watch. So to cut this story short, I'm not going to narrate the movie. It was a frantic call. Houston, we have a problem. And this became a kind of a very oft repeated phrase in management, in society, in films. We have a problem. Now, how that was solved? Did they go to the moon? Did this Apollo 13 go to the moon? They did not. Did these people come back and land on Earth? They did. How did they do? Okay, you read about it, you watch the movie. Extreme degree of human innovation. What all they used? You know, they had to let go of a part of the ship which was carrying oxygen. Because due to an accident, oxygen that was stored for these people to survive for the mission, oxygen was being let out. Oxygen was flowing out in the void, in space. So in some time, they wouldn't have any air to breathe. In such a scenario, in such a situation, these people fought the odds. These people, 200,000 miles above the Earth, and the team, the research team, at the Space Center in Houston, America, USA. Okay? So now this problem was solved, and Apollo 13, this is one reason I was in the morning checking with Colonel Marwa whether I was asking him whether he'll be there, but he left. He said, I wish you messaged me earlier. So there is a very nice phrase. Apollo 13 was humans' biggest successful failure. Successful failure. How can it be a successful failure? It was a failure because they set out to land on the moon. They set out to land on the moon, which they could not. So it was a failure. But success, because the way this team and the team at the Space Research Center at Houston, they fought the odds and saved lives and came back to the earth to live another day. The way they did that was a success. So it's the world's best known successful failure. Okay, so as boys and girls in your early 20s, you must read about, know about Apollo 13. Okay? Now coming back, hold this thought here. Hold this thought here. I'll come back to this question of repetition. When Dr. Shukla, she said that it's going to be a repetition, I was doing something else, so I wanted to wriggle out of that situation by finding another name to this topic, which is we have a problem. But I want to mention to you, never underestimate the power of repetition. Okay, never underestimate the power of repetition. What I'm going to tell you today, you would have heard in your lives. It's not, I am not an inventor, you know. I have not invented something, and I have not patented something, and I am not going to show you something unique to this world. So what I'm going to tell you, you would have heard these things before from your elders, from your parents, from your colleagues, from your brothers, sisters, from the entire ecosystem, from your teachers. You would have heard. But I'm going to tell you again. Anything good, anything that is worth saying needs to be repeated. You remember during your school days, you had to memorize a poem. If you would read it once, you would never memorize that poem. You had to hear yourself again, again and again. And only then you become a master of something. You know, even Sachin Tendulkar today, he would go out and practice. Meaning what? I mean, Sachin Tendulkar doesn't play, but let's say anybody, Virat Kohli, who has seen it all, done it all, he would still, before a match, he would go and practice. Meaning what? He is repeating something which he has done 1,000 times, million times in his life. So never, and you know, what is a doctor doing? What is a lawyer doing? What are students doing? What are professors doing? A professor, how does a professor, Dr. Kulkarni, get better? With experience. Because repeating. You know, a professor, you are a professor of marketing, Dr. Petkar. So you are a professor of marketing. So every day when you come to class, you don't teach something unique, something very new. You are repeating yourself, and that is how, in the last 3 years, you must have gotten better. So that's practice. So never underestimate the power of repetition. Okay. Now I will talk to you about. So Apollo 13 is a story I wanted to start with, because on Friday somebody said we have a problem that your title is taken by somebody else. Okay. Now that is not a problem. I can change the title, but I will not change what I have to tell you. It's a repetition. So don't underestimate the power of it. All right? So that is where we start. Just a moment. Okay. Now, so Apollo 13 returned not because technology did something, technology failed. Apollo 13 returned because of human innovation. Something humans did, humans created a solution that never existed before. All right? So what has happened with us? Every year, it's my honor. I should start with that. I feel privileged to come here and talk to you in the induction program. For the last 25 years or more, maybe 1 year more, 25, 26 years. It's my privilege. But what brings me here, one is the warmth, the hospitality, and the friendship I enjoy with IIEBM and the founders and all of you. That is one. The other is, what brings me here is your curiosity. It's your curiosity. And if I say 25, 26 years, there must be some people who were here 20 years back. They are somewhere doing something very worthwhile now. So that's an investment also. One is your curiosity now. The other is the pleasure, unimaginable, that somebody like Dr. Petkar is a professor, somebody is doing something in a bank, somebody in a paint company, somebody somewhere in a food company, somebody in technology. It's a great pleasure. So what has happened to us is, throughout the industrial age, for the last 200 years, there has been, change in sources of energy, from, say, steam to electricity. What has this done to us? Let's say, for example, something that we can see. You may not have seen, but you would have seen in pictures or in movies, the steam engines. The steam-powered engines, or if you have seen the movie Sholay, where you see the Jay and Viru, they are pumping coal in some fire to make the engine run. That's a steam engine. So today, do you see steam engines? You don't. So this is a change in source of energy. So newer things were invented. So what has change in source of energy done? It has given us newer technologies, leaps in technology. Okay? So steam to electricity to internet. These are sources of energy. And then because of that, we leapfrogged in technology. So what has that given us? That has given us efficiency. Very efficient. Everything has become efficient, more and more efficient. So the industrial age rewarded efficiency, rewarded the act of repetition. Okay? It's rewarding repetition. So efficiency became success. Efficiency became the measure of success. It still is. It still is the measure of success. You get my point? So we were all used to doing more. We got used to doing better and faster. So more, better, faster. More, better, faster. That became our judging tool. Somebody who can do something more, something better, something faster, can do things well. All right? You get it? Now what happens? This is something which you have seen and which you have heard in your lives in the past few years, and also during the sessions last week with AI, artificial intelligence. What is happening? So it's a repeat, but it is worth it. Be with me. So artificial intelligence, AI writes better than us, calculates better than us, does many things better than us. All right, it automates, optimizes. That is leading us to fear. May not be to you so much, because fear comes only with exposure. As you see the world more and more, you might. So tomorrow, if Dr. Petkar, he thinks that AI will come and teach you marketing, so what will he do? So, I mean, don't make such a stone face. You can vent out your emotions. You can show me your fear. If you are, I mean, so what I'm saying is, none of us, we know the future. Tomorrow, but students will not be replaced, by the way. Don't worry. Teachers may be replaced, but we'll still need students. Can't be AI. Then AI is a teacher and AI is a student. It will be a mess. So Dr. Petkar and Dr. Kulkarni, we may be threatened. Okay, so show your emotion. Huh? So, but I tell you one thing. Whatever may we do, a human will never beat a machine in efficiency. So you are a maths teacher? All are marketing. Somebody good in maths? Somebody from the students? You are good in maths, ma'am? You are good in maths? I thought so. I'm not a mentalist, I said. But so, however good may you be in mathematics, you do Vedic mathematics, you do anything you want to, you will never be able to do an addition faster than a calculator. You will never be able to do it faster than a calculator, and why should you try? Why should one try even? Because the point that I am coming to, that human edge, please think about it, human edge is not efficiency. Efficiency was never our edge. We do not compete with machine, with AI on efficiency. By doing that, we will take AI as our adversary. We must take the calculator. We must take AI as our colleagues. Not an adversary, not even a crutch, but colleagues. I'll come back to Apollo 13, mind you. So efficiency is not our edge. Then what is our edge? What is our edge? That is the point I want to make today. Okay? So I'll conclude with what our edge is over the next, let's say 30-40 minutes, then you can ask me questions. Now in technology, there is always something called the S-curve. S-curve. It's nothing technical, just hear me out, S-curve. Like the internet was in the early 90s. You think of the bottom of the alphabet of the letter S. Like the internet was in the early 90s, in 1992, 1993, people move like the bottom of the curve S. Then suddenly, because of peer pressure, because of things around us, the adoption goes up like the vertical part of S. Then somewhere it peaks and it flattens out, it plateaus out. That is S. That is called S curve, and that is how technology adoption happens. Are you with me at the back? All right, there? Yes. So the S curve, think of technology adoption, think of internet in the early 90s, think of social media in the early 2000s. Early 2000s social media, people are getting into it, people are getting into Facebook, into LinkedIn gradually, then suddenly there will be an explosion. And it will go up like that. And then again today, Facebook, I mean, there, not there, I think some of you are there still, but you are not so excited, not so hot on Facebook as you were 5 years back. So it's plateaued out. I know I know many youngsters like you who are not, who would check Facebook once a week. Insta maybe once a day. Telegram, I don't know. You tell me. So like social media in the early 2000s or AI in 2020. AI in 2020 was like the bottom of S. Then suddenly we heard of something called ChatGPT, and within a few weeks there were millions and millions of users. So it is still on that vertical part of S. So any technology, there will be early adopters, small in number, there will be skeptics, they will form that part of the bottom of S, and then suddenly there will be an explosion, and then it will plateau out. So that is what is happening. Slow start, explosion, and then plateau. Okay, another example which I thought I would tell you, say photography. People always like to take photographs, carry your camera when you are holidaying, when you are meeting friends on your friend's birthday. All right. You have this birthday celebration every month, so you click pictures and all. By around, I tell you, sir, by around, where is that? Around 2015 or 16, we were taking 80 billion. How many? I think I got it right. Yes. 80 billion photos every year, 80 billion pictures every year, say about 10 years back. Today, we are taking 80 billion pictures every week. Today, we are taking 80 billion pictures every week. So that's happened with photography. So, this is the scale, this is the efficiency. So, what are we doing in it? What is our edge? What are we, as we say, what are we bringing to the table? Like the mathematics genius, I mean, everything is done artificially. Today, I requested that shorten the introduction, but you read it full. Thank you very much. But I can tell you, if I go to ChatGPT and if I give some of my problems well, if I do the prompting well, it comes out with a response which I wouldn't know. Even I don't know. In food, in dairy, I don't know what ChatGPT, because that is collective intelligence. That is so much powerful. So what am I bringing to the table? So here is where I bring you to Apollo 13 again. Super efficient spacecraft, space engineering. Can you think something more efficient than that? But to bring those people back, it was not just efficiency, machine efficiency. So what is that we are bringing to the table, right? Are you with me till now? Yes. So we have a problem. My problem is to find out, what am I bringing to the table? What is Dr. Petkar bringing to the table? There must be something. And that something will make us irreplaceable. There is something. And I assure you, otherwise Apollo 13 wouldn't have come back. Otherwise, that wouldn't be the most successful failure in the history of humankind. It can't be done by a machine. Bringing Apollo 13 back, ChatGPT couldn't have done it. So, all these 200 boys and girls sitting here separately, I see that now. You are forcefully separated, is it? No, not the professors. So, but good, congratulations to you. So all these 200 and how many of you are here? 300. You must be bringing something to the table. And if you can't find that out, if you don't know what it is, God help you. AI will sweep you off your feet. Be very sure of it. and never fight the future. You can't fight the future. I'll come to that also. So Apollo 13 survived not because of efficiency, but because of innovation. And now innovation is a very broad term, very vague term. Okay, I'm an innovator. I can innovate. So I have to find out the constituents of what I bring to the table, the sum of which will be innovative. Okay? So it is now our turn to let go. The more, the better, the faster should be done by AI, which actually is an advantage, is a benefit, because now humans, we are free. We will have free time to do what we do best, to bring our edge to the table and not try to do an addition faster than a calculator. There is no fun in that anymore. Okay? So now we must return to what only humans can do. So think about it. Think about what humans can do, what you can do. There must be something, there is something that you can do which cannot be replaced by ChatGPT. ChatGPT should be made use of. It should be, because that's my colleague, that's my tool at my disposal to do the efficient part, the more, better, faster. I cannot do as much as ChatGPT, and that is how, and that is why I have created ChatGPT. Humans have created ChatGPT. Okay? Now, not realizing that, people who fight the future are also very intelligent people. They are very brainy people. Why? Because they understand that this is something that is going to take away a lot of your credit. Whatever may you say, take away jobs, take away business, take away my credit. I realize that, and that is why I fight it. People who don't understand it will not fight it. So now, I would say, think about it, we should not fight the future. I will give you some examples where fight against the future has been futile. A very, very close example to us is, telephone. This phones we have. You can make WhatsApp calls to your hometown or anywhere else in the world at the price of a peanut, at the cost of a peanut you can make. But I don't know if you know or if you remember, a few years back, say maybe 6, 7, 10 years back, this was not allowed. This was not allowed. Why? Because the telecom companies would suffer. So government did not allow WhatsApp call. Telecom companies would, Dr. Petkar, you remember? You remember? Right. So why I'm asking you, because I cannot ask a 20-year-old kid that whether you remember what happened 10 years, 15 years back. I can't ask them. It's unfair, right? So you don't have to remember. So some 10 years back, WhatsApp calls were not allowed. You have the right to be surprised now. So I must see some surprise on your faces. So 10 years back, WhatsApp calls were not allowed, because if I am calling on WhatsApp, then where will the telecom companies earn money from? They won't earn money. Even today, if you see, some countries in the world, say in the Gulf areas, they don't allow WhatsApp calls. You can't use WhatsApp in Dubai, in UAE. They let them be happy with that. So in our country also, it was not allowed. Some few years back, now it is allowed. How? Because the telecom companies, they stopped fighting the future. They started making money on data. They stopped making money on voice calls. On voice, they started making money on data. So more you call, the better it is for them. So you don't fight the future. Like, one very, very important invention that we have seen in the world happened in the 15th century, which is the printing press. Printing press. Okay. There was a movie starring Amir Khan's son. and another newcomer. Huh? Which one? Maharaja. Yes, who says that? Who's? How do you know? You've seen that? You watched that? Yes, Maharaja. Correct. So there, the antagonist is fighting against a press. But the protagonist, which is, what is his name? Junaid Khan. He wants to print something. He wants to print some. I'm far away from the boys, but you hear me, you get me. Huh? So he wants to print, and that becomes a problem with the antagonist, because the knowledge which I have, now it's internet, forget that. Think of 15th century, think of 1450, 1460 and all. If something gets printed and gets circulated, then my advantage as the most knowledgeable person is lost. So today, again, whenever I open LinkedIn, I see everything, lot of things are created by ChatGPT. I can see that. And I like LinkedIn. I can see that. But so be it. What's happening is, suppose I write very well. I met Colonel Aditya Singhal. He has written a book. I have not written a book. So he has written a book. All right? Now, if I use ChatGPT to write a book, then his advantage over me is gone. Let's stay with it. It's not totally gone. Let's stay with it. So, suppose I write well. I can express my thoughts on LinkedIn very well. And today, somebody else who doesn't write as well as me is using ChatGPT to do it. So, my advantage is gone. So be it. So, when the printing press came, printing press was invented in the 15th century, people were fighting against it. That it should not be. You are fighting the future, which you cannot. Or, have you heard of Luddites? Luddite, Luddites. It's a imaginary character called Ned Ludd. The cotton mill workers in the 19th century in Britain, okay, they were fighting, they wanted to fight against the mechanical looms. And they were burning, they unionized, and they started burning down the mechanical looms, the machines. And then when asked who did it, they created a fictional character called Ned Ludd, N-E-D, Ned, L-U-D-D, Ludd. And from there comes the term Luddites, Luddites. You Google it, you'll find out. Luddites are the people who fight against emerging technology, modern things, newer things, that they are called Luddites. So, they are fighting the future. Okay? Or, I'll tell you another very interesting example. There was a lady called, in again 20th century England, 1920s, lady called Mary Smith. Mary Smith, you know what was her job? She was called the knocker-upper. Knocker-upper. Don't get bamboozled by these terms and all. So if you're writing down, welcome. Please write down, because you can Google them later and know more. Knocker-upper. You know what her job was? Her job was to, early in the morning, go around the neighborhood with green peas, and throw them on the windows of the workers, on the glass windows of the workers. For what? It's 6 o'clock now, please get up, it's your factory shift. She was the knocker-upper. And then they, innovated. Then what they did, she took a glass, tube, and took the peas inside the tube and blew them, so that it would go and hit the windows and create a tuck noise, and people would get up. That was an alarm. And then Mary Smith was a name. Then there were so many such Mary Smiths. They were the knocker-uppers. And why green peas? Because if you are throwing a pebble or a stone, the glass may break. Okay, so this is 20th century England. What were they doing? They were working as alarm clocks. And now in 1920, around that time, very affordable alarm clocks were developed by Faber, Luba, or many such companies. And very cheap alarm clocks, and people started using them. And now this Mary Smith, she lost her job. She needed that job. She needed the job to get food on the table, to keep the roof on her head. That's what that's needed. But you cannot resist the invention and advent and popularity of an alarm clock just because Mary Smith needs her job. So she was fighting the future. She didn't want that alarm clock to come into being at all. But you can't do that. So newer jobs evolved. We'll come to that. It's not an economics class. What I'm saying is, we cannot fight the future. If AI has to come and teach marketing, AI will teach marketing. Nobody can stop. So the professors will have to find what we are bringing to the table. What is the edge? There is an edge. The good news is, Dr. Petkar, there is an edge. There is an edge. You already know, I can see it on your face, but there may be a lot of people who will have to find it. Who will have to find out. So we should not fall in the efficiency trap, meaning how much course can I cover today? Can I cover this before the exam? That is an efficiency trap. That is needed. But professor of marketing, professor of mathematics will focus on solutions never created before. Never created before. All right? So otherwise, we will get lost in the age of AI-induced efficiency. That's the efficiency trap. All right? So now, it's easy to say that innovate, efficiency trap. Is it on? Can you hear me? Yes. I hope it's on. So, it's easy to say, but how do I put that? How do I put that in a kind of a capsule and give it to you? Which is also important. It cannot be just very broad talk, because, you know, the good and bad of such talks is, you may like it very well, but will you remember what I am saying? Unless I encapsulate, I give you something, it will not be memorable. It will be likable. Because I am pulling up Dr. Petkar in front of 300 students, but only the good faculties get pulled up like this, you know. I'm mentioning you because I'm very, very impressed with you. It's nothing. So you will like it, but you will not remember. So what I say is, when you think of my edge, your edge, what do you bring to the table? Think of something called 5 C's. I'm calling them 5 C's to make it memorable. Just so that you remember. You just not like it, like the talk, but you remember it. So 5 C's. What are the 5 C's that we bring to the table? What are the 5 C's? I say, curiosity. As I said, I come here year after year for 25 years. One is because of the warmth and the relationship I enjoy with the IIEBM family, and also because of your curiosity. I can't make this lecture, I can't do this session unless I had 300 curious faces in front of me. I give you a second. Yes. One more second. So, you get the point. Second is creativity. Creativity. Now, it is not that you will bring creativity and she will bring curiosity. That will not work. That won't work. It's a combination. It's a combination, right? So if you see, AI can process patterns. AI will process patterns. Only humans can ask. Only curious humans will ask questions. And believe you me, people who will ask the right questions, the better questions, are going to go a long way. You will only invent an aeroplane if you are asking, Wright brothers, if they are asking that if birds can fly, why can't we fly? How it sounds? It sounds ludicrous. It sounds, what is this? But somebody had the gumption to ask that question. If birds can fly, why can't I fly? And that curiosity, that question led to the invention of an airplane 100 years ago. And if you see, really, 100 years is no big time. It was just yesterday. Just digressing a bit, modern human, modern Indian, let's say, is just about 65,000 years old. Meaning, humans are not here 65,000. Humans are here from much longer, much earlier. But what is the 65,000? 65,000 is where we can trace back our ancestors, the early Africans. And from there, it's 65,000. And compared to that, 100 years is just this much. Isn't it? So, somebody asked that question. If birds can fly, why can't I fly? So, if just by reading patterns, polio could not have been eradicated, aeroplane could not have been found. It takes a bit of curiosity and creativity. To my mind, I'll talk about 5 C's. But I think out of these 5, these 2, curiosity and creativity, they go hand in hand. They are 2 sides of the same coin, isn't it? So AI remixes what exists. Humans can reimagine. And creativity is not invention, is not necessarily invention. My favorite example in this is Steve Jobs. He did not invent telephone. That was Graham Bell. He did not invent the music player. That was somebody else that you know. You tell them later, I don't know. He did not invent the music system. Neither did he invent the camera. But look at the kind of revolution he made by putting all these 3 together in one device. He's not an inventor, but he's an innovator. That is creativity. Could AI have done that? Isn't that the edge that a human brought to the table? Courage. Courage. What is courage? Courage is going forward, going ahead and doing something even when you don't have full information. You can never have 100% information, but still you have to do a few things. Like if you have to expand, the board, the trust, can never have 100% accurate information. You feed it as much as you want to ChatGPT. But that courage will come from, you know what I mean? That courage is human. A machine needs 100% information, trackable, traceable information, which is not there. Which is not there. Our careers, what we do, what we are doing, is not 100% information. Is it not? So courage is acting even when there is insufficient information and even when there is fear of failure. Is it not? Apollo 13. I think Apollo 13 is a very good way to start a lecture in IIEBM where you're the premier of the institute. I can't talk of a movie which he hasn't watched. So I can't use Apollo 13 anywhere else as much as I can do here and as much as I will enjoy here. So courage. You know, there's 3 astronauts, there's 3 people who wanted to go to the moon. Who wants to go to the moon? Everybody. But who wants to take that step forward? You tell me, can you get into that ship tomorrow? No. It takes a lot to get that courage. ChatGPT will not give you. I'm not against ChatGPT, by the way. I use ChatGPT very extensively in many, many things. That's not the point. Point is the 5 C's that I'm making today. Okay. So curiosity, creativity, courage. AI will calculate risk. AI will give you 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. That is bull. That is nothing. Our lives are binary. Either 0 or 1. Dr. Petkar can't be 80% successful in a class. Either he is memorable or he is not. You know, today I am talking to you. I can't be 75% there. It can't be. You can't be, you know, I mean, pardon this, but you can't be half pregnant. I mean, either you are or you are not. Is it not? So I mean, AI can calculate a little bit and tell us this much percent, and that doesn't work with us. We have to take a call, show some courage to take off a job offer which may be slightly below my expected salary. But why do I do that? Because I know that this is a good company. This company, you know, rewards merit. And there are my seniors from this college who have done well there and all that. That's kind of fluid information, but I take the courage and put my career at stake there. All right? So I'm saying, so Apollo 13 is a good example. So 5, I said I committed 5. So curiosity, courage, creativity, compassion. You know, AI can simulate a concern. AI can simulate. Only humans can feel it and express it. Only humans can feel and express. There are many stories of compassion, which I'm not going to tell you here. But we have seen, say, bosses giving some leeway to employees who are maybe looking after an ailing parent back at home. You know, there is work which is sacrosanct. But suppose somebody in my team is looking after an ailing parent back home and then comes to work after a night's taking care of an ailing parent. And then there is some leeway that the boss may want to give to that employee, which is compassion. Or let's say a nurse, or I remember, I am also, as much as I am a film buff, I am a sports buff, I am a cricket buff. There was a test match in Calcutta. I was a kid. I went there with my father, where Vishwanath was batting. Vishwanath. You know Vishwanath? Yes. No, you don't know. No. You know? I'm impressed. Vishwanath, not the chess player, Vishwanathan, Gundappa Vishwanath. He was batting, very fine batsman. And Ian Botham was fielding in the slips. Ian Botham was a slip fielder that time, and Bob Willis was bowling. I mean, these days you see 150 kilometers and all that speed, but it was not. I mean, but Bob Willis was very fast that time. So Bob Willis bowled. Vishwanath edged. The catch went to Ian Botham, and he dropped it. He dropped the catch. Okay. Now, that was Vishwanath's birthday. He was playing at Eden Gardens. Google it up. It's not a, I didn't make it up for you. And at the end of the day, in the press conference, Botham said that it's his birthday gift. I mean, he could have made it up. Maybe he genuinely dropped it, which he would. But those days, catches were not worth millions of dollars. You know, Gavaskar and Kapil Dev would earn 5,000 rupees a day by playing test match. So he dropped a catch and said, it's your birthday, happy birthday. That's kind of a sportsman's compassion. Is it not? So this is what Ian Botham brings to the table. He would have dropped that catch. England would have lost that test match. But that doesn't take away Ian Botham's greatness as a cricketer. Statistics may say that he dropped a catch, but that will not take away Botham's greatness as a cricketer. Is it not? So, curiosity, creativity, courage, compassion. So 5 done? You counted? Very nice. Communication. Okay? AI translates. AI can translate language, but humans turn language into meaning. Humans can turn language into meaning. I have a dream. Where is that? I have a dream. Who was that? I don't want to quiz you. I don't want to test you. But write it down. I have a dream, and Google it up. What a movement it started. It's not just 4 words. I have a dream. Google it sometime and see what is the meaning of it. No AI can recreate it. No AI can convey or express the meaning of all you need is love. You know, somebody, Beatles fans here in this room, other than Professor Jaisingh, other than you, any Beatles fan here? All you need is love. Orithro. What? What happened? All right, thank you. Orithro what? Rage. Yes, go and sit down. So, all you need is love. These are all you need is love. 5 words. But Google it later. Okay, no penalty for not knowing before today. Penalty for not knowing after my lecture. All you need is love. John Lennon. Created generations. You know, we were, I would say, we lived on this. Can AI match it? Can anybody tell me what it is? What is the meaning of it? Some people of my age. All you need is love. Beatles was a rage. This was, I think, This was even before my time, maybe this was in the 1960s. You know, all you need, Google it later. Or Khoya Khoya Chand. 3 words. You know? So this is what John Lennon or Martin Luther King or Sahir Ludhianvi brings to the table. All right? So, curiosity, creativity, compassion, courage, communication. Now, I don't mean to say that one of you will stand for courage, one of you for compassion, one for creativity. It doesn't work that way. We have to be thinking on these lines. We have to be a mix of all these 5 C's, and that is what we bring to the table. Not all the time, I'll be 10 on 10 on courage, like that lady rightly said. I'm with you, I'm on your team. That if that spaceship is standing outside now, I would rather step into my car and go home and not on that spaceship, not knowing what is there. I don't have that courage. So it's not that we have to be supermen all the time. It is a mix. What we bring forth, at what time, compassion, courage, communication, putting meaning to words, Imagine, write that down, imagine, and see what it means, just one word. Or, Bella Ciao, write it down. This you know, I can see, this you know, this you know. Okay, got it? So, I'll still leave some time for questions. So, now all these, what 5 C's I'm talking? In the industrial age, when machine efficiency was our marker of success, these 5 C's were relegated to the background as soft skills. When machine efficiency is paramount, unbeatable, these soft skills become hard skills. These are the skills. These are the skills, not soft, not hard. These are the skills. And these 5 C's will make us irreplaceable in the AI age. And these 5 C's will solve the problem in hand. Got it? So, now, once again, I congratulate you for stepping into an MBA program here in IIEBM, which has got a legacy, got a history, and there are quite a few successful seniors that you have. You will know of them, and I follow IIEBM handle on LinkedIn, and I see a lot of them doing so well. Some of them are in touch with me. I feel very proud and happy for the institute, for the students, for you, for myself. After this, you will be stepping to a world of corporate world, to a world, to the real world you will be stepping, and I think it's not something that I had written down to tell you, but I think truly and really this is a good time to be stepping in to the world that you are going to. It's a good time. It's a good time. In India particularly, and also the whole world, there are such things like the financial crisis of the 2008, and then COVID, and then the Hormuz blockade and all. So be prepared to face these. Be prepared to face these, because these are certainties of the world that you are stepping into. These are the certainties. A Hormuz will be blocked here and there. Okay, yesterday it was COVID, and God forbid, now we have Hanta virus. Now we have about 200 people affected. But consider these as the certainties of life and use the 5 C's to face and beat these and come your way up. Think like a human. The industrial age rewarded efficiency, no doubt. It still rewards efficiency. The AI age will reward entrepreneurialism, innovation. And what is entrepreneurialism or innovation? Is a mix of these 5 C's. All right, so leave the more, better, faster to where it belongs. That's not our edge. We don't bring it to the table. So think of what you bring to the table. And spend more time on these 5 C's and see how we can develop this better, suited to ourselves, custom built for our needs and the world that we are stepping into. So I want you to remember the 5 C's from this lecture, if not anything else from this session. What you should take home are the 5 C's: curiosity, creativity, courage, compassion, communication. Thank you very much. Thank you. You want me to take some questions? Yes, please.
Jain sir, my name is Himani. It's a privilege to get opportunity to ask you a question. Sir, my question to you is, if someone is confused between studies and startup, so what should they do first? Or do you also think that first student should gain knowledge, experience, or directly start working on their startup?
Okay. Good question. You can sit down, Himali. You can gain knowledge, experience all your life. It's here, as I said, here I am giving you in a capsule. I organize this talk in a way that you can take something back home. Okay, but in your day-to-day, in your daily lives, you will have lot of such inputs that you can take back home without somebody giving it to you in a capsule. Now the question about whether I should study or I should do a startup, again you go to the 5 C's and see how courageous you are. Because if you are talking of studies as this MBA course, I would say this will give you more information, more input, and reduce your chances of failure much more than otherwise. Only that much I can say. I can't tell you that you will be more successful after this and not before. You can do your startup and be successful. But life is a game of chances. So you take better chances once you do this. But there are other examples. Like I tell you, it's not something that I've read. My friend's son, he went to the Harvard, but he dropped out. I'll give you his name also, you can Google. He dropped out. He didn't do Harvard. He came and started a company, founded a company. Okay. It was earlier called Vance, V-A-N-C-E. Now it is called something else. The name of the boy is Parth Garg. He has raised 400 crores for his startup. 400 crores. It's just a thought of remittances. We have a lot of remittances, foreign exchange flowing into this country as remittances. Indians who live all over the world, they send money back home. Aspora, now it is called Aspora. Earlier he named it Vance, it is Aspora. A Harvard dropout. His father is my friend. He dropped out, started Aspora, raised 400 crores just about last month. Okay, now, can I assure you that if you leave this course today and go and start something, you will be a super successful? I cannot. Can I assure you that after this course you will be super successful? I cannot. But can I tell you that this course will give you something where your chances of failure will be much reduced? I can tell you that much. But good question. Good question, Himali. Thanks. One or two more. Yes, sir. I would love a question from there.
Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind.
My name is Sham Sabres. So, anecdotes which you mentioned during your lecture were quite astonishing. And my question to you, sir, as AI have bring autonomy in every single technological aspect. So, how do we think innovatively and bring out something unique to the table?
Okay, very good. So this is not a homework, you know. You said Sham.
Shams Tabriz, just Shams or just
Shams.
Yes.
So don't take it as a homework that today I have to think innovatively and I have to give out something. No, that makes you a machine.
Yes, sir.
Whatever you are faced with, whatever you have in front of you, think from this 5 C's angle. Okay. That is only what I'm saying. And leave the efficiency to the machine.
Okay.
That's how, as I said, you know, and curiosity, anything.
Yes,
it
sir.
starts with anything. If you have a problem, approach it with 1 or 2 or a combination of all the 5 C's.
Okay.
That's what is innovation. I'm not saying that come tomorrow with an innovative idea. That doesn't work.
Definitely.
That doesn't work. The question is, and don't you ever think that all the questions that could be asked are already answered?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't think of it that way. There could be many things that are not answered. Like this example that I gave, Aspora. You know, one may think that there is already about $70 billion of remittances that is coming into this country from people all over the world. One may think that question is answered.
No, sir,
but this boy, he came out of Harvard, started this company, and as I was discussing before the start of this session, if somebody is willing to fund you, then it is not that you are only assessing the problem, the funder is also assessing your problem and endorsing and giving you due credit for that problem. So the anecdotes are there. I am happy that you found them interesting, or what you said, astonishing, very nice. But innovation is not a homework. It is just facing life.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Well done. All done. Thank you. Thanks very much.